All right, let's see. Hello, everyone. I hope you can already see us. It's a little bumpy at the moment.
Where can I get the link to the YouTube live so I can see also the, or maybe you sent it by mail or no?
No, I posted it on Instagram. There was a link on Instagram. It's a different, it's actually a different link now because the live link didn't work. But it's the same page, so we should be fine, I think.
Could you send it to me on the Skype chat? Because I can't find my Instagram on my computer.
Let's see. This should work.
Yes, I got it. Thank you. What? RTMP. What is this? It didn't. The address starts with RTMP. No. What is it? Sorry.
That's all right. It's good.
Why RTMP? This is so weird. What is this address? I don't understand. I'm sorry, I don't think the address works. Don't you have any other links?
Yeah, I have.
Like
I posted it on Instagram.
And it doesn't work when I copy it in my
It's a different
browser.
It's actually
Never seen a link like this. RTMP. What is that? And what if I change to HTTP? It's really weird.
Live link didn't work.
Oh, this seems more like oops. Okay. It's working.
Okay. Yeah, I sent you another link. All right. Well, anyways, we record the video, so I'll post it later as well.
Okay.
So we can check on the video later again. Yeah, Ines, thank you that you said yes to this talk with Shareflow. We just want to have some, want to get some insight on your work and yeah, on your inspirations, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, just tell us who you are, what you do, just a little introduction.
Yes, sure. So I'm Ines Alpha. I'm a digital artist, and I created a project that I called 3D Makeup, and it's a series of makeup using digital softwares. And I also do augmented reality filters. So I don't know if I should. I have like a presentation that can be between 10 and 15 minutes where I show a little bit of my work, like videos and GIFs and filters. Should I show that, or is it? I can like just scroll.
Sure, if you could do that real quickly, I guess that's fine. Oh, just looking for a good light here.
Yes. Let me. Can I mute mute. No, I want to mute the sound. That's gonna make. I'm just because I usually do that on Keynote, and it's an HTML now, and I would love to mute the sound of my tab. Otherwise, I won't be able to talk. I think, or it's gonna be difficult to hear me. But I'm gonna try it, and if it doesn't work, then I just show some of my Instagram. So let's see. Can you see my screen and my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, yeah.
It's okay. I'm listening.
Okay, cool. I'm wondering if this is going to work. This should be a video, but it's not working. Nice. That's pretty interesting. I tested earlier and it worked perfectly, and now it doesn't work. This is really interesting. Oh, what? You can still hear me, right?
Yes, I hear your voice.
I think it's
didn't hear any sounds from videos or anything yet.
I know the problem. I'm sorry, my bad. I changed the location of the presentation. Okay, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. So this is this a filter from like Instagram or?
So this, I found that I can turn up the volume. I'm quite happy I'm able to do that. So those are videos that I've made and I've worked on for the past couple of years, and those are all post-production. So it's computer generated images that I did using a 3D software, and that I added afterwards after having done the video. And those are different people, artists, musicians, drag queen performers that I collaborated with. So sometimes I did the video with them if I could physically meet them. And most of the time, and it was way before the pandemic, those people were just living abroad and not in France, and they would send me the video they would do with a camera or even with their phone, which I kind of enjoy, because using the phone, you could have the feeling that people were wearing the 3D makeup, like they were just naturally doing a selfie and they were wearing something in 3D in their face. And I thought that was something that could look more real than when the video is more set up, if that makes sense. So originally, I'm an art director, specialized in advertising, specialized in luxury, beauty, cosmetic. So I've worked for 7 years there on beauty and makeup visual mostly. And on the side, I was experimenting with 3D, doing mostly video clips and adding iridescent blobs and weird creature to our physical world. And from the start, from the moment I started learning 3D all by myself, following zillions of tutorials on YouTube, I immediately had this, I immediately enjoyed making the reality more fantastic and adding those 3D elements on images I could find in our physical world. So later on, I decided to unite two of those things that I loved, and that I knew, so uniting my makeup, cosmetic career in advertising, and uniting that with my new 3D skills. And so I started adding 3D elements on beauty photographies. And I did that quite accidentally, just for fun. And I thought that I never saw that before, and that would be interesting. And I was at the time, I was watching RuPaul Drag Race. I was discovering all those very creative people on Instagram playing with their face and makeup. And I thought, why couldn't I add 3D element on people's faces? And that would be some kind of a makeup from the future. So 3D makeup for me is very simple. It's makeup, but in 3D. So using digital softwares. For me, makeup is anything that can transform your face. Either it be pigments or objects or insects or anything. And more when you see people on social media, mostly they are very creative people using anything to transform their appearance. So I thought, why not using digital softwares to transform someone and to express someone's personality?
Okay. When was that? Like filters, like digital filters on Instagram, there, I don't know when they came up, like 2 years ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
So did you just jump on that train immediately, or how did that come to be?
I can come back to a normal video if that's better. I was going to go through to all my presentation at once and then let you ask the questions, but I can stop it and then get back to it when it makes sense to answer to your questions, maybe, if that's okay for you.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So when I started, the augmented reality filters didn't exist. There were some apps that you can use to transform your face, like Old Booth. That's one of the name of the apps. There were L'Oreal Genius, which was an app to add makeup on your face. And at that time, it wasn't even real time. It was just like an app to add makeup on a photo of you, or on a selfie, but after having taken the selfie. And maybe it was the very beginning. I mean, when I started, there weren't any apps to do that. And then I saw that Snapchat released face filters, and all those face filters were like dog ears, unicorn face. And that was quite annoying because people started to call my work filters. And I was like, no, it's not a filter. It's the future of makeup. Okay. It's people wearing makeup on their face. But for me, I don't call myself filter because a filter for me is something that it transforms the whole image, and it's like a layer between you and the person that is looking at your face. And my work is not about putting a layer between two persons. It's about just transforming someone. And it happens that augmented reality is the best tool to make my work accessible to everyone. Otherwise, no one can wear my creations. If it stays in post-production, then it's just 3D added in a video. And then this 3D, even though it looks super realistic and super beautiful, the 3D stays in the video when you do post-production. So if you want everyone to play with your creations, the best tools now is to adapt it to AR. And when I started, there weren't those. There were some artists playing with augmented reality, like Jeremy Bailey, but technically, it looked super hard for me to have access to this knowledge, and I couldn't find any tutorials on YouTube at the time. And I even thought about doing like holograms, like projecting things on faces, or I didn't know how it will evolve. But then when I saw that there were AR filters, I thought, of course, that's the future. That's where I need to go. I'm quite happy I'm able to do that. So those are videos that I've made. I've worked on for the past couple of years, and those are all post-production. Don't know if you can still hear me because I can't see you moving or talking. So
okay. I was just on YouTube checking if we have any comments in chat, but we don't. So I had 2 audio layers.
Yeah, and I can see the YouTube is like the how can I say, the time difference, like it's playing what I was explaining 10 minutes ago or something.
Yes, it's not at the same speed or something, I don't know. Okay, but I think it works. It's my first time streaming on YouTube, so it's a little,
I don't know, I've never done it.
Technically confusing.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but I think we're fine. Yeah. Yeah, you just talked about the holographic things that you did with augmented reality. So augmented reality is like let's see. Do you have like a definition for augmented reality for people who don't know what that is?
I mean, I have my own way of explaining it. For me, augmented reality is like that extra layer of digital elements that you can add on the physical world through a device like a smartphone. So in a second, you open your for now it's a smartphone, but maybe in a couple of years it will be contact lenses, Google Glass, or AR glasses. So in a second, in even less than a second, in real time, you have a layer on top of reality with digital elements that transform that reality. So for me, that's and when I say transforming, for now we see a lot of added 3D elements, but it can be also removing, hiding, or transforming, like making that reality different, changing the colors, changing the textures. So yeah.
But it's always live, so it's not this post-production is not augmented reality.
Yeah, no, I mean, in a technical aspect, regarding technical aspect, when you talk about augmented reality, you always mostly refer to the real-time aspect of augmented reality. But for me, when I started post-production, as I was adding 3D elements in the real world, I liked to call my work augmented reality, because for me, I was augmenting reality, adding those magical elements and fantastic elements. So, but I shouldn't use that word when I talk about post-production, because post-production doesn't happen in real time. But I just like the meaning of augmented reality, like augmented human. When I add 3D element on people's faces, I like to say that I augment them, that I augment their personality. And for me, it's not only about doing AR, real-time 3D. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I have some questions I wanted to ask you.
Sure.
So did you study art, or where does this motivation come from to just, I don't know, throw yourself in a new 3D industry, like, you know?
I went to an applied art school where I studied lots of things. and I wasn't specialized in any of them. Like I studied graphic design, web design, scenography, animation, even like physical animation, like how do you call that? Like Tim Burton's kind of animation, you know. I don't remember the English name. Even packaging, lots of stuff. And when I came out of this school, I wasn't confident at all in my artistic practice. I didn't know what I would do. I didn't know how I would even earn a living being a creative. So I did an internship with two artists that both do illustration and animation and 3D animation. And I studied 3D in my school, but it was a long time ago. And the software that I used at that time just, I didn't want to do 3D anymore. I was like, oh my God, no, that's a no, never, ever. But obviously the 3D, the 3D and software has evolved a lot. And when Cinema 4D came out, it was way more accessible than the software that I tried to learn when I was at school. And it was like a 1 week workshop. So and even not even every day. So anyway, I did an internship and I worked for a year with those two artists that were doing illustrations. And they were so cool and so talented. And I was really looking up to them. They are called Kunzel and Degas, Florence Kunzel and Olivier Degas. They're both French. And I completely lost confidence. I was like, they're so cool. I will never be at their level. So I went to a management school of fashion and design, thinking I would still work in the creative industry, but I won't be the creative person because I thought that I wasn't creative enough. And then after that year, where I learned the worst thing I could learn, like finance, economy, accountants, like all the work around the creative person in the fashion industry, but not doing the creation. I was like, okay, at the end of that year, I was like, I really need to still do something creative. Otherwise, that's not me. I need that a little bit of creation. So I went to an advertising company. That's where I started working in advertising. And that was a good in between for me. Like I could do a little bit of creation, and it wasn't that personal because I have a client and I have my boss that will take many decisions for me. So I was like, well, okay, that's fine to me. I don't need to be I don't have that. I mean, when you're an artist, you're just like questioning yourself all the time, and you're like, am I good enough? Are other people into my work? Am I gonna earn a living with that very personal project? But when you are in an advertising company, you do creative stuff, but you're not the only one to make the decisions, so it's easy to let go of things, you know. So don't know if I answered to your question.
Yes, definitely. I see. That's yeah. And after you went to that company, you kind of found your own way again. Okay. So this
I just worked on the side of my daily advertising job. I was experimenting and learning 3D as a hobby, and I was really having fun with that. And then I had this moment where I played with adding 3D element on people's faces, And then I thought, maybe that can be a serious thing. And, in France, we have this salary unemployment. So when you quit a job, or you get fired, but I didn't get fired, you can agree with the company, like, I'm gonna quit the company, but I need this unemployment salary. And I got that for 2 years. So during those 2 years, I could dedicate my time to building that artistic career that I believed in. And I was like, oh, in 6 months, in 1 year, if I cannot earn a living doing that, then I will go back to advertising, and that's it. So I took that risk, even though I had this unemployment salary that definitely helped. And now I'm earning a living doing what I like. So that's super cool.
Yes, for sure. Especially since you are like at the I like to talk Wild West, like you're at the frontier as like a pioneer in this filter creation, which is really exciting. I'm imagining,
Yeah. It's always very weird to think you are a pioneer or something. And I still, when people say that I was at the front of digital makeup, I'm like, nah. And I'm like, yeah, kind of, but it's difficult to admit.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to talk about women in the like graphic design, 3D industry as well, or
Yeah.
3D creation. So how did you perceive your creative upbringing as a woman, and was it like easygoing? You could just concentrate on yourself, or did you have to deal with a lot of like, I don't know, maybe like sexist issues, or like pressure from the men's world, or
so in the advertising industry, definitely. And I think that I realized that sexism still existed when I entered the advertising industry. So maybe that's out of the subject, because I guess you want to talk about more when I entered the AR thing. So when I started doing my own career, I'm working on my own. I'm completely independent, and but when I started getting my hands on digital softwares, and especially with AR filters, the community is really lovely, and it's really diverse from my point of view. And I don't have any statistics, but I'm talking to very different kind of people in the filter community, and there are a lot of women, and there are a lot of very talented and even very technical, because sometimes you think as you're women you cannot be very technical, and I saw a lot of women that I'm like, seriously, okay, we're here, so that's really cool. And I was really happy to see that, and even when you see, maybe it's biased, but when you see the some press articles about like the creators at the forefront of digital makeup filter creations, they select a lot of women, which I'm really proud of course. And sometimes I'm like, are they featuring our work because, brands, magazine, they need to show more women, or are they showing women just because they think my brain doesn't make any difference between any sex or gender. Like I don't care, but I know that the society cares, and I know that the society is built like this way, that there is men and women, binary, and it's difficult to deconstruct that thing. For me, someone that is talented is just someone. I don't care about, I mean, I don't know. But I think it's important to talk about it, and it's important to give visibility to minorities. And it's important to show, like in couple maybe 2-3 years ago, there was an exhibition in Paris called I don't remember, PC Girls maybe or something, and it was about how computers, at the start of creating computers, most people working and managing computers were women, and then men discovered that they could do bigger things using computers, and then they started to say very sexist thing like women are comfortable with computers because it's like cooking. When you know the recipe, the
Which
food
sounds
is gonna
funny
be...
nowadays,
Yeah, because they like organizing stuff. It's like housewives, they love organizing, so they must